Politics is a very interesting game. And politics is also a very dirty game. There is something which I once said on this platform, and it's already happening. Linda Mwananchi is going to split. And it's going to split because of ego issues. And the day you will see James Orengo and Caleb Amisi meeting together, that's the day you will confirm that indeed Linda Mwananchi is going to split. As we speak, Caleb Amisi is causing serious political storm in Linda Mwananchi.
Na tuko hapa kukubombeleza, ati nikiongea hivi wananiita mall. Nilianza kupinga serikali kabla hujazaliwa wewe mkabila bwana. Nilipinga serikali kama unakula ndani ya serikali. Alafu nakuja kuniita mimi mall. Shame on you. Mwambie shame on you. When you are eating with the government, Caleb was opposing that government. Tulikuwa tumesema kufa makanga, kufa dereva. Wewe dereva wewe makanga ulibaki wapi? Sasa utakuwa makanga unakuja kuita wengine mall. Shame on you. Mwambie shame on you. Tutasimama kwa ukweli na ni lazima wananchi wapewe mwelekeo. You are a leader to lead people, not to mislead people. And that's why I stand strong on my principle, so that the people can know they have a leader who is leading them in the right way. You cannot be a leader ambao unapotosha wa Kenya.
And yesterday it seems Linda Mwananchi brigades are not tired with Caleb Amisi. And Babu Owino had this to say.
About my brother Caleb. He knows how to solve issues. He's a leader. When he has issues, he should call leaders and we sit down. We don't want to see things on internet and every other place. He's addressing the wrong people. So as people of Linda Mwananchi, sisi we don't accept any nonsensical statements against Linda Mwananchi. Linda Mwananchi must stand strong. If we must unite, we will have to unite with those who matter for us to fight for the interest of Kenyans.
We only can speak about Linda Mwananchi. And Linda Mwananchi, it does not matter who becomes the president of this country, as long as it's not Kasongo. Get us right. Even if it's Gachagua, even if it's Edwin Sifuna, even if it's Babu Owino, even if it's Majimbo Kalasinga or James Orengo, as long as it's not Gachagua. That is what we have cleared. As long as it's not Kasongo. Sorry, that is the person we are all fighting. We have a common enemy in town. We have nothing about each other. And remember, when the dogs are chasing an enemy, if they start fighting against themselves, the enemy will move. So we are organized, and by the way, we want to assure Kenyans, at the end of the day, we shall achieve this thing, all of them together. What I wanted only to put across.
But what are the issues within Linda Mwananchi?
You said kwamba kuna katika safari kuna watu wanashukia njiani, no, baada mnamaliza na kawaida. Mheshimiwa Caleb Amisi ameshuka?
Hajashuka. Kwa nini aseme ameshuka?
Tumeona debate sana. Hajashuka around him.
No, unajua unatakiwa ujue kwamba vuguvugu kubwa kama Linda Mwananchi, kwanza sisi ni wanademokrasia. Lazima watu waruhusiwe kutoa maoni yao na mitazamo yao jinsi ambavyo wanaona. Hatuwezi kuwa tunalaumu ODM ODM kwa kutokubali kusikiza maoni kinzani alafu na sisi pia tuwe na shida. Hapana. Na nimekuambia haya mazungumzo ya 2027 sio rahisi vile ambavyo tumekubaliana. Kwanza kumtoa William Ruto inahitaji kazi na tuko tayari kufanya hiyo kazi. Inahitaji mazungumzo mazito na inahitaji mazungumzo, na mazungumzo saa nyingine yatafanyika na watu ambao si ati ni rafiki zako ama watu ambao mlikuwa ruzana pale nyuma, lakini the overriding interest ni kwamba tuweze ngatua William Ruto. Mpaka kufikia leo mimi naamini Caleb hajasimama mahali akasema tuta mpaka vile nazungumza, unless umeona breaking news mahali hapo bado anashikilia kwamba William Ruto lazima afanye nini? Aende nyumbani.
What are the issues Caleb Amisi has been talking about? That's exactly what I want to tell Babu Owino. Because according to Babu Owino, if Caleb Amisi has issues, then they should sit together and agree. Because they cannot allow Caleb Amisi to just talk the way he's talking. I want to reveal to you guys those issues which Caleb has with Linda Mwananchi. Before I do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, what are the issues Caleb Amisi has with Linda Mwananchi? The first issue, and it's actually the main issue, is working with Rigathi Gachagua. The other day, I listened personally to Edwin Sifuna. And Edwin Sifuna made it very, very clear that he cannot work with President William Ruto because of ideology. And the question which most Kenyans asked Sifuna at that time, the question of working with Rigathi Gachagua, whether there is any difference between Rigathi Gachagua, ideologically speaking, and that of William Ruto. I know sometimes Rigathi Gachagua's supporters, even those on this platform, are very emotional. But the truth is, there is no much difference between Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto. In fact, if the two were to be given power, if Rigathi was still the deputy president today, his statements would be worse. That's what Caleb Amisi is telling Sifuna. That if you are working with Ruto, if you can't work with Ruto, then please also don't work with Rigathi Gachagua.
Na tunaambia Sifuna, mnajua Sifuna? Mnamtambua? Mimi ndio niliunda ile chama inaitwa Kenya moja ikakuja ikakuwa Linda Mwananchi. Na nikamwambia hawa vijana hata kama hawapendi William Ruto, hawapendi Munyoro. Sasa huwezi toka kwa William Ruto ati unaenda kwa Munyoro. Hapa tutakuambia bwana, kichwa yako sio timamu. Sawa sawa? Kama unatoa William, weka mtu ambaye anakaa mzuri. Hata watu wa William watakubali, si ndio? Lakini utoe William uweke wa Munyoro, utabaki peke yako. Hapa utabaki peke yako. Niko na akili sina. Nikosoe nisikosoe. Sasa ile makosoa nasema ni kwamba Sifuna, usiende huku, angalia barabara, hata wewe unaweza kuwa rais wa taifa. Na watu wataunga mkono wewe. Lakini kwenda kwa wa Munyoro hapana. Sawa sawa? Mnasema tawe, si ndio? Tunasema tawe. Kama umeshinda, hata Caleb anaweza kuwa rais wa Kenya. Si ndio hiyo? Lakini tusirudi kwa wale watu ambao wametuletea ukabila ya kupigana. Na hakuna mtu wako tayari saboti, nimekaa na kabila zote, najua kuishi na kabila.
But remember, politics is a game of numbers. Who has the numbers? Rigathi has those numbers. And that's why it's not easy for Sifuna to not work with Ruto and also not work with Rigathi. He has to work with one of them. So that's where the conflict is. Because for Caleb Amisi, it simply means that, let us not work with Rigathi, let us not work with Ruto. Let us chart our own political path. And there are so many Kenyans who are believing what Caleb Amisi is saying. The second issue, and this is something which Caleb Amisi has been consistent on, Edwin Sifuna as the presidential candidate. Caleb Amisi is saying something that, in 2027, the young people are going to determine who becomes the next president. But they have a checklist of who they don't want to become the next president. They've tried looking for a candidate, they failed for a very long time. Now the young people have found a candidate in the name of Edwin Sifuna. So Edwin Sifuna, this is your moment. Be on the ballot. Because if you want to be on the ballot, some of us will not vote for the candidate you are trying to push. But for Sifuna, he's looking at it from a different perspective. That politics is about numbers. That the young people might tell him that they're going to support him. When that time comes, then they retreat back to their tribal cocoons. So he's trying to come up with a coalition. But that coalition is not favoring him because it has Kalonzo, more senior to him. Rigathi has more numbers. But remember, politics is also local. But remember, politics is also local. Caleb Amisi comes from the Luhya nation. And Sifuna is a Luhya. If Sifuna were to become a presidential candidate, who benefits? Caleb Amisi will be the first beneficiary because he takes credit for forming Linda Mwananchi. Again, even in Sabwati, if, for example, Sifuna is not on the ballot, it would mean Kalonzo. Then in that region, William Ruto will then have an upper hand. And that's why he was making this particular statement here.
Wanaenda kudanganya William Ruto tupewe pesa, atitone tupewe Caleb ni adui wako. Nani alikwambia mimi ni adui wa William? Nilikosania wapi? Hakuna. Nisikia hapo na msichana yangu. Hakuna. Msichana yake. Hakuna. Mimi nimekosana na William. Mimi ukosoa serikali.
The third issue Caleb has is with the KANU era politicians. That you can't preach change, and the people around you cannot be part of change. And it's very specific. Rigathi was a DO during those dreaded KANU era, and because of that, Caleb Amisi believes he cannot be part of change. But the young people want a total change. Caleb Amisi also believes that someone like Kalonzo, who is likely to be the presidential candidate, joined politics during the KANU era. And because he served KANU diligently, he cannot be part of change. That if they want change, then something radical has to happen. And that something radical would mean doing away with the current political system and bringing in new younger generation. I think on that, to some extent, Caleb Amisi is making sense. That is something which these people don't want to listen to, because politics is also about reality. The reality is, for Sifuna to remove Ruto, they have to have a single candidate, either Kalonzo or himself, supported by the rest. And the fourth issue, which is my last issue, and this is something which even Sifuna is unable to explain, is the Gen Z factor in 2027. The Gen Zs went to the street and they had one mission: changing the system. And according to them, they don't want anybody. Even Raila Odinga, they told Raila that time, because by that time, Raila was actually the face of the opposition. They told Baba, wewe, kaka, kando. Let us deal with these guys. But now, you want to tell these young people that they can't lead. So Caleb Amisi, to some extent, has a point. But will he have his way? For Babu Owino to become the governor of Nairobi, he needs the Kikuyu votes. Who has the keys to the Kikuyu nation? Rigathi Gachagua. That's why even during the impeachment, Babu Owino never impeached Rigathi Gachagua. So those are the dynamics of politics. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.